Tanya, for months, WBTV has been investigating a 22-year-old running a radical pro-Al-Qaeda website out of his parents' home in North Charlotte. Now take a look. Image after graphic image. Cheerleading for Jihad, with the bloody violence always at the expense of Americans. Well, tonight, WBTV On Your Side investigates this with our Molly Grantham. And Molly, this is an online war fought in our backyard.
It's not a game, Paul. You're exactly right. This is not about some kid cutting and pasting stuff to a random blog. This site is so popular, it is reportedly listed among the top 1% of 100 million internet sites in the world. It is also leaving cyber terrorism experts to publicly wonder, some are even asking Capitol Hill, just how connected is this 22-year-old charlatan to the war on terror? Is he using his site to help recruit for Al-Qaeda? We tracked him for many weeks, and we asked him directly. Inside this typical-looking North Charlotte home lives a 22-year-old Saudi American with some extreme ideas. He runs a controversial anti-American website called revolution.muslimpad.com.
It's the call to the Jihad. It's the call to the Jihad in English.
The site lists Samir Khan, seen here in undercover video, as one poster, but all indications are he runs the whole thing. His family reportedly moved here to the U.S. when he was only 7. Read his words. Click on attached links. You'll see bomb videos, September 11th replayed. A call to arms, a dead American hanging out the back of a Jeep. And in one link, one especially disturbing link, you'll see a music video of children training in a terrorist-type camp. Our government is aware of this website. In fact, sites like Khan's were the subject of this 23-page report given to Capitol Hill in recent weeks that repeatedly warns of the dangers on these pages. Like, look at this one line. Over the last year, Al-Qaeda also made a tactical decision to increase its production of online propaganda and make more of it accessible to English-speaking audiences.
His website's concise, easy to read, informative. If you want to be a terrorist, this is where you go.
Private investigator Bill Warner is in Florida studying jihadist websites across the world. We traveled to Sarasota to interview him because he says charlatans need to recognize someone in their backyard may be helping the enemy.
He's a great facilitator for Al-Qaeda.
Is he? Is he working for Islamic extremists? Asking Khan himself isn't easy. We knock, we leave notes. We even see a national news crew from FoxNews.com stake out his neighborhood looking for an interview. He ignored them, too. We finally do catch up with Khan walking into work in South Charlotte a week and a half ago. May I talk to you about your website?
No.
Are you helping recruit for Al-Qaeda?
No.
Not at all? Helping recruit for terrorism?
Not at all.
He says he's not. Warner doesn't believe
Oh,
him.
come on. It's a war zone here. These people want to kill us.
Can Khan's site be shut down? Warner has helped shut others down before, but he says this web host, muslimpad.com, isn't going anywhere.
It's hosted out of Amman, Jordan, so forget that. You're not going to shut it down.
We know it's Khan's First Amendment right to express his views. He knows how to walk the fine line well. He never solicits violence. He doesn't show evidence of working directly with militant leaders. He just says what he wants through a keyboard and monitor. Not, apparently, in person. Samir, you seem to have a lot to say. I'm giving you a chance here to say some things. And off he goes into work. Only a few days after that interview, he no longer worked there. Tomorrow night at 11 o'clock, we are going to air a second part to this investigation about Khan's former job and where he worked could end up being of national concern.
I understand freedom of speech, but it's an understatement to say that this story is very concerning for all of us. The government agencies, they're looking into this. Can you name them?
FBI is certainly monitoring, but that's from sources, Paul. The FBI itself says they can neither confirm nor deny anything. They're being very tight-lipped about this case.
And tomorrow night we find out where he worked.
And why we should care.
All right, Molly, thanks so much. Tanya. A 22-year-old in North Charlotte running a radical website promoting Al-Qaeda. Now, we first aired this investigation into Samir Khan, the man behind the site, last night at 11 o'clock here on WBTV. On your side tonight with Molly Grantham, who's following the story. And Molly, Samir responded to your story on his website tonight?
He's using his blog to criticize WBTV, Paul. Now, he writes that we are spreading lies about his website. He claims to have never before seen the video footage we found in attached links to his site. He calls the reporting useless and a way to try and get ratings. If you remember last night, the last thing we saw of Samir Khan was him walking into his job. We did some research, and we're left wondering what a guy clearly promoting a group at war with America was doing working for a company which provides services to half of the top 50 Fortune 500 companies, as well as the federal government. Look at these two pictures posted by Samir Khan on his website revolution.muslimpad.com. The first, American soldiers heading to Iraq. The caption, "Here they come." Second photo is flag-draped coffins with the words, "And here they go." Opinionated commentary like that and explosive videos leave no doubt this 22-year-old publicly hates America.
Samir, are you anti-American?
So imagine our surprise to find him working at Convergys Corporation in its South Charlotte office.
Chance here to say some things.
Convergys is a company other companies hire to help with its customer care, HR, and billing needs. It sounds pretty basic until you hear this. In March, a $2.5 billion 10-year deal was signed between 9 companies and our federal government. Convergys is one of them. It's all in case of another national emergency, a Hurricane Katrina, or, say, another terrorist attack. Those 9 companies, including Convergys, would help Uncle Sam set up quick call centers and mobilize communication. After playing phone tag, a Convergys spokesperson in the Cincinnati headquarters doesn't say much when we ask about her company's contract with the government.
That I can't comment on. That's not germane to what happens in this location.
Khan worked at the McAlpine Park location. Yes, I said worked. Days after we confront him in the parking lot, his car stops showing up. That same spokesperson confirms he's no longer an employee.
I said he had no access to customer or client information.
But you can't say what he did.
Correct.
Or how long he worked there.
That's true.
Or if he quit or was fired.
That's not information we would provide on any employee.
After our story aired Monday night, Convergys followed up Tuesday with this email. Khan didn't work on a government program. No government contract work is done at its Charlotte facility, and Khan had no access to client or governmental data during his brief employment. They still don't tell us what Khan's job was. So we go back to his house to ask what he did while at Convergys.
I'd like to speak with your husband or your son if possible.
No, this is my property too, so please leave my property right now.
Okay, thank you very much.
A Convergys spokesperson said Charlotte's office where Khan worked didn't deal with any governmental contracts. You heard that. You also heard the spokeswoman saying he didn't have access to customer information, but questions still remain as to what exactly Khan, who was extremely tech-savvy, did at that company while he was there.
Molly, I know you're getting a lot of feedback on this story. What are some other Muslims in the community saying about all this?
They're saying not everybody thinks that way. They're trying to get a group to sit down and talk with us because they want to respond.
This website has clearly outraged a number of people, including Sue Myrick, and I know you're talking with her, the Congresswoman, tomorrow night.
That's the kicker, Paul. Myrick is coming out. She is the leader of the Anti-Terrorism Caucus in D.C. She has some strong words. We're going to talk with her tomorrow night.
All right, Molly, thanks so much. Well, tonight we have dozens of emails and responses from viewers about our investigation into a local website which promotes al-Qaeda. The 22-year-old North Charlotte Muslim man running it, walking the line of free speech. Samir Khan is not doing anything illegal, but he's showing pictures of dead Americans and promoting groups at war with our country.
And WBTV's Molly Grantham has been on your side this week with this story, but she and her team have been working on it for months. She's here now with part 3 of the series, and this time you got to sit down with U.S. Representative Sue Myrick.
I did for a couple reasons, Tanya. One, because Samir Khan lives in her district. 2, she's the leader of the Anti-Terrorism Caucus in Washington, D.C. 122 congressmen and women are a part of that caucus, both Democrats and Republicans. And 3, she has some strong words about why we, all Americans, need to wake up. Let's be candid. It isn't every day you hear a politician talk like this.
Come on, America, let's talk about it. Let's stop being politically correct. Let's put it on the table.
Put on the table, U.S. Representative Sue Myrick says, the fact terrorists are infiltrating American society often through the internet.
They are using the internet for training. Al-Qaeda is, other groups, Hezbollah, the rest of them. If we are able to eliminate some of the key leaders of Al-Qaeda, it isn't the same anymore because they are still there in perpetuity on their tapes. They're still doing the training. They're telling people how to do everything that they want them to do.
Myrick says yes, she is familiar with the Samir Khan situation and has known about his pro-Al-Qaeda anti-American website for a while. She's also aware of what we told you in Tuesday night's story. Khan was working at the South Charlotte branch of Convergys Corporation. How surprised were you to hear Samir Khan was working at a company with a governmental contract?
Well, not that surprised because this is a very big problem.
To be clear, Myrick means this as the general issue. Convergys tells us Khan had no dealings with government contracts or client information. Capitol Hill does know of Khan. He spoke with the New York Times last fall under the condition they hide his face. The interview is online.
The American government is losing this war, and the Muslims are winning this war.
When we recently asked about his statements to the Times, he stood by them.
It's on tape.
It's on tape, and take it as this. You don't need my explanation.
Myrick won't say whether or not her office is investigating Khan, saying she's not going to talk specifically about an individual. She says the bigger issue is getting all of us talking about the realities of terrorism. Don't be fooled. She says when an enemy of America uses the web to promote jihad on an English-speaking site, that is a calculated move.
And they are making a special effort now to recruit blonde-haired, blue-eyed Americans like you who don't fit the mold, very frankly.
Because it's easier to infiltrate that way?
Yes.
Infiltrate in a very legal way.
So they aren't doing anything illegal.
But they know that, don't they?
Yes, they do.
They walk the fine line.
They do.
And they use our Constitution against us.
They use our Constitution against us, and they know just how far they can go.
Again, Khan says, and he told us, he is not recruiting for terrorism or al-Qaeda. And as for Myrick's strong words, she is the one with the Wake Up America plan. It was released in April. Are you familiar with that?
I am. She's been working on it ever since 2001.
Right.
I know about it.
It's
Fighting terrorism, homegrown.
Absolutely. A 10-point agenda. A lot of it has to do with Saudi Arabia. And that's one of the things she said she wants to get done. She's trying to fight Islamic terrorists who are here in America. Things like cancel scholarship student visa program, specifically with Saudi Arabia.
Well, it takes awareness on all of our parts, and for you to catch what's going on that website, thank you very much for exposing it.